KB with the beat here. First off, let me just say thanks to our sponsors, Mad Cave and Global Comics. And thank you guys for joining us. Today at San Diego Comic-Con 2023, we have Third Eye, which is a brand new Audible original coming out this fall. We are going to be talking to Felicia, who is the creator and star, London Hughes, one of the stars, and also Jonah Ray Rodriguez, who is the director. So stay tuned. So let me just tell you, I listened to that first episode, and it is so fun. Oh my gosh, I loved everything about it. So I'm going to start with you, Felicia, because you are the creator and the star. Tell me a little bit about kind of where the inspiration came to bring Laurel to life on this crazy, wild sci-fi journey.
Well, it actually was a TV show. It was my starring role that I really dreamt about, and it didn't happen on screen, but it happened in audio, and it actually probably happened much better this way because I was able to tell the exact story I wanted to in audio format. We have 10 whole episodes. It's like a whole season of television, and it's huge sound design, amazing performances.
Amazing performances.
Amazing. So I can't tell you how excited I am to finally get it out after many, many years of working on it.
Oh my gosh. So I have to ask both of you, because London, you are playing Sybil and you are playing Laurel. So talk a little bit about kind of the off-air, I guess is the best way to put it, off-air chemistry in order to kind of build this friendship, this dynamic between the two of you.
Tell you, honey, it was all me because she weren't trying to hang out with me afterwards. I was like, let's go get drinks, Felicia. She's like, no, I'm married. She didn't want to hang out. She didn't want to do any fun things.
I have a child. I don't do fun things.
No.
Okay. Listen,
let me finish. She wasn't adding to the chemistry. So if you think we do have chemistry, that's because of me and my talented acting skills. Because I tried with this woman. She would not give me any energy.
Listen, you're too cool for me, London. Follow her on Instagram and you'll see she's always at a party. She's wearing high heels. She's looking fabulous all the time. I am schlubby in bed at 9:30.
She's not schlubby. I kept calling her a bad bitch. I'm like, you're a queen. You're a bad bitch. She's like,
you.
I'm a queen. So literally, I think she's amazing.
I love you. She is literally, if you ever have written a character and had them brought to life 10 times as wonderful as you ever imagined, this is London Hughes. So you're going to fall in love with Sybil Aurora Moonglow. She is the hottest mess you've ever met. Hottest mess. And I'm really excited for everyone to fall in love with her.
But yes, it was so much fun playing Sybil.
It
wasn't even acting. It was just me. I just had to come in and just talk and then just say words that I would have said anyway.
Yeah.
And add in some like fantasy stuff, like couple dwarves there, couple demons there, couple zombies there. But it's just like normal day's work, you know.
Okay, so I have to ask for the two of you, kind of apart from just being able to be yourselves in some capacity in these roles, kind of what other, I think, sci-fi heroines inspired the performances?
Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Jonah Ray is the director of Third Eye. He and I work on, got a lot of productions that we can't talk about because there is a SAG strike going on, and we're completely supportive of that. 100%. But were there any, I know that when we talked about the process, you had some inspiration, like television movies that you were inspired by?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a combination of like a bunch of stuff, from Laura, but we didn't want it to be like one-to-one. It's like, because it's not a parody, it's it's just in the genre, and it's a comedy, and it is all the things that it should be.
We can't talk about specific TV or movie roles because of the strike, but we can say that we definitely I drew from epic fantasy, but also comedy, and I wanted to meld those things in a way that it felt very real and grounded. So it's not a sketch, it's not parody. It definitely is inspired by, but also
it's its own thing.
It
exists. It's so unique. It's nothing that you would have ever come across or heard before. It's definitely its own genre. Like the way that. I can't spoil stuff, but the fantasy comedy element, you go in thinking, oh yeah, okay, I understand fantasy. And then she just shifts it, twists the world on its head. And it's so funny, so fresh, so current that, it's its own genre.
Yeah, I will say after, kind of the end of the first episode, that huge kind of reveal, I thought to myself, like, wait a minute, I was not expecting this at all. So I 100% agree. So for you, Jonah Ray, let me ask you, directing an audio book, like how does this work from a creative standpoint? Because I know that our, viewers would definitely love to know that.
Yeah, well, so, having done so much stuff, like just directing, video, it's like you kind of like, you learn how to get away with, especially like a lot of DIY stuff or a lot of stuff that's low budget. You learn the little tricks of like performance that can, really fill things out and make it seem bigger than it is. Because if you focus on that stuff, it will just like the rest is almost kind of easy, you know, because it's like if you make it seem real and grounded and funny, and then it has a rhythm to it, and it always has, with audio, it has to be like a little faster than it would be if it was, because like, you know, the brain needs to have that information coming in. So it's like, that was kind of the fun part, the sound design, like coming up with different, you know, things. And
the way the Sybil's wings.
Oh,
work,
my
the
wings!
Yeah,
All of that.
All the
Loved.
little details, and it took like 6 months just to work on the sound design. So this is like it's epic. It's, and every time we would talk back and forth, we're like, oh, we're all picturing it in our heads.
Yeah.
And the challenge is, okay, we all have the visual of it. How do we make that audio? So if people can't see it, they do get the impression that they're walking down a hallway, or they're cooking, or they're walking through into a different space. Like, all of that is very nuanced and required a lot extra work than I even appreciated.
And we were very method. We were actually doing the stuff. Like, we were acting it out. I was very physical with my fairy wings, and things I had to do. If I had to lift something, I'd be like,
Let me tell you, I can tell for sure, because when I was listening to it, I was wondering to myself, for each of you, kind of what do you want audiences to walk away with? Because the vision that I have in my head when I'm listening to it may vary, you know, from someone else. So kind of overall, what is it that you want audiences to kind of take away?
I mean, I want them to kind of, this whole project was inspired by driving by a Cash for Gold shop and wondering who the hell has that much gold to melt. I mean, what are they doing with it? And I was like, what if a dwarf was melting it down? And so creating the supernatural secret world amongst us right now was kind of a hook. And then the character, you know, my character Laurel being a failed chosen, really kind of digging into that and making it real. So every character has an arc. Even Sybil, who is like the hottest mess, wonderfulest mess in the world. She's an amazing, hysterical character, but she also has emotional things that she's going on. So I want people to really, you know, enjoy this as a whole, and really get into this world and imagine the characters outside of this world and have that brought to life.
Yeah, same. I wanted to bring realness to fairy chic, you know? I was like, I'm a fairy, but I'm also a real girl. And so it literally, I put myself like, if I was a fairy, what would I be? And this is it. Sybil is that. So yeah, everything she said, I was ad-libbing, adding in my own stuff.
Yeah, she
Jonah
added
let
some
me
wonderful
improv
things.
bits.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a comedian. My background is always going to be looking for the joke. And these two really pushed me to make Sybil as funny as I could be. There was like no rules. They let me go as big as I wanted to. And yeah, I could have so much fun with that. And I did.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention there's also romance. So that way people can know, you know, like they're fully formed characters.
I got to date Will Wheaton, and I didn't think that would ever happen in my life. So me and Will Wheaton are officially a couple. He plays my love interest, Rodrigues, and the scenes that I have with him, I remember to pinch myself like, what am I doing?
We had to actually like tone him down. I'm like, there's too much. It's getting a little pervy.
Yeah, literally. I enjoyed myself a little too much. I was having a good time.
And what about for you? You know, what do you want audiences to visualize or walk away with? Because I'm convinced that my vision is wildly different, maybe from the one that you guys had.
Well, you know, there's a kind of that old trope in horror where it's like, you know, the monster is always scarier when you can't see it, so you try to hide it as much as possible. And I think that's the benefit of this kind of medium, is that like everyone will be able to fill in exactly who they want to see and what they want to see and what things look like. And it's also because of like, there's that element of it, just like walking away like a fulfilled, like I just saw a show, you know, like I saw a big production and it was just in my head. And that part is like really exciting. And also the amount of heart that Felicia's put into this about like expectation, about like parents, about that kind of stuff. It just, there's tons of jokes and there's lots of heart in there, and about friendship and like people come together. Not to be cheesy, but it really is like a beautiful part that we wanted to kind of like, you know, show that it's like if you kind of stick with your friends, you can make everything okay.
Well, you three did an amazing job. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with The Beat at San Diego Comic-Con. Cannot wait for everyone to hear the Audible Original Third Eye when it releases.